Orphan Care was founded by Datuk Muhammad Adnan Muhammad Tahir in 2008 with the aim to give love, care and security of a family to children living in institutions and abandoned babies via baby hatches in Malaysia. Under the patronage of HRH Sultanah Haja Kalsom, the Sultanah of Pahang, Orphan Care is managed by a chairman and a board of 6 trustees committed to this cause. Our mission is to transform the existing outdated and harmful system of institutionalization into one which supports and protects children by moving or reintegrating them back into safe and loving families. Our work entails the holistic process which includes adoption and reintegration, parenting and temporary care for mom and babies, social support services, counseling, awareness and advocacy. There are many reasons why children are placed in institutions today. Poverty, children born out of wedlock, family problems, and children with disabilities are some of the reasons why these children end up in institutions and are attended to by social workers. An estimated 8 million children worldwide today live in institutions that cannot meet their needs and are denied their rights. Even more alarming is that more than 90% of these children are actually not orphans. Institutionalization severely harms the health, development, and life chances of children. Global research shows that children living in institutions suffer lifelong physical and psychological harm. Children who spend a large part growing up in institutions tend to develop low self-esteem, which usually causes behavioral problems, delinquency, and poor academic performance. Babies suffer mental trauma and fail to develop positively, and it is even worse for children with disabilities. 26% of young children with disabilities have sadly died in institutions. Statistics also reveal that children who have lived in institutions are 500 times more likely than their peers to commit suicide, 40 times more likely to have criminal records as adults, and 10 times more likely to be involved in prostitution. The time to end institutionalization of children is now. Studies prove that there are many benefits in deinstitutionalization. Via deinstitutionalization, children raised in family-based care environments become more confident, less inhibited socially, mentally, and emotionally, and can eventually be part of a larger positive community. Working to end institutionalization is a journey we must all embrace together. The 5 elements of deinstitutionalization are: 1. Reintegration of children back to their biological parents. 2. Reintegration of children to their extended family. 3. Children being adopted. 4. Children being fostered. And 5. Children being placed in small group homes. This especially applies to disabled children. The journey towards deinstitutionalization and family-based care begins from the top, and policies must be influenced by informed decision-makers. Presently, most funds are allocated into the upgrade and maintenance of institutions over the development of community services. Community-based services provide higher quality care and are more cost-effective compared to institutions. In some countries, family-based care costs only 10% of institutional placement. Therefore, budgets should be reallocated. The legal framework to protect and provide services that these children need must be updated. Also, a well-trained and professional workforce is needed to ensure proper care and support for vulnerable children. Finally, effort must be focused on developing new systems of care and support to ensure a smooth transition of these children from institutions. Here's a real case demonstrating how deinstitutionalization was implemented. Tina is an illiterate mother of 4 whose husband is a drunk and beats her up frequently. This caused a lot of physical and emotional pain, and her traumatized children often watched in fear and became emotionally unstable. In desperation, Tina sent her 2 younger children to a missionary home for care and protection. With an irresponsible and abusive husband, she was forced to work. Tina stays in a small room with her 2 older children, which she rents for 140 ringgit. She owns an old motorcycle, but would often need to borrow money for petrol and license renewal. Life is hard as Tina barely makes enough every month, while she was grateful that her two older children were with her. She felt very guilty that her children were separated and not having a family life together. Orphan Care reached out to Tina, and with her approval, social worker Siti planned for the two younger children's transit back home. Since Tina only had a traditional marriage, it was difficult for her to produce her children's birth certificates along with her marriage certificate. Thus, she could not obtain the full BR1M and housing support. There were other costs needed for the children's education besides their school fees. Also, Tina needed to send her two younger children to daycare while she was at work. The following care plan was agreed upon and provided for. Tina would learn and improve her skills level so that she could get better jobs or even set up a baking business. Family counseling would be provided. Orphan Care counselor Sally would speak to the children about concerns on the reintegration plans. Supermarket food vouchers were obtained from an NGO for the family. Orphan Care provided a minimum startup fund of 500 ringgit for each child so that Tina could buy their basic needs such as mattresses and a small study table. Tina and her children is just one of the many cases a social worker faces daily. Each case has specific needs and requires different solutions. At Orphan Care, every case is handled with stringent discipline and operated within permitted laws and guidelines. Understanding the importance in solving this problem, the time to end institutionalization of children is now. Together, this is one form of child abuse we can eradicate in our lifetime. Embark and support the deinstitutionalization mission today by helping us spread awareness to the community.